All right, from the student Fairfax City, we are very grateful Nathan and Noah accepted our invitation to our show. Guys, welcome to my humble podcast.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
No problem. Let's go back in your life of the beginning, Nathan. Were you born like in a musical family? I mean, how music came to you? I mean, were your parents playing an instrument or your brothers or?
Yes, music was always around us, in
Yeah,
Philadelphia, where I was born, so much music. And then we grew up in San Diego. There was a piano in the house. We all took piano lessons, 7 kids. And even though they didn't play professionally, my mother and father both could play the piano. They could play songs. So
that's
always, and then in the neighborhood, you always heard music coming from the street, around the block. So it was really uh, like one of those situations where you couldn't get away from music.
that's good for you. So, what about you, Noah? I mean, of course, if you look back in the life of your parent your dad, he has played with the best of the best of the best. I mean, it's like a miracle. My understanding, your wife is a physician. Also, he like music too. So
Yeah,
you have no choice. Your music was around you, man.
it's a
Right?
miracle. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Just being exposed to so much great music, like you said, all genres,
Yeah.
and it really had a big impact on my playing
All
today.
right.
So
You knew. I mean, how old were you when your dad? I mean, you knew your dad was a musician because he would leave and come back and instrument in the house. So eventually, you say, "What? Oh, this is a guitar. This is a bass player. This is a drum. This is a piano." Right?
yeah, I realized early. I mean, when I was a kid, I just knew he was going to work, but I didn't really
Right.
know who. But I
Yeah.
was blessed to have such amazing godfathers like Bob James, who's in Fourplay,
Wow.
and
Of
and,
course.
and Greg Gaines, and these people. First, they're just part of the family, coming over playing. But then later, when I grow up and I realize how amazing of an impact they have on music,
Yeah.
that's when I realize how special it is. So I'm just very grateful to have them
Good.
as
Eh,
mentors.
Any pressure for your dad? Hey, forget about music. It's a difficult lifestyle, or it was up to you to decide and
Yeah, no,
putting your dad on the pressure.
yeah, no pressure. Nowadays, of course, music it's way different than when he was coming into it. But
Sure.
and
Yeah.
you have to be a lot more creative with things. But we're fortunate to be doing what we're doing, and we just do it for the love. That's it.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I'm happy. We'll talk later on about the record, which is very good. So, Nathan, so you were one of the first. I don't know. I think the first band you were in called Power, and at the time with your brother and a bunch of kids from the school. And how you end up
Yeah.
from that to being playing with Barry White and playing, man, in the best place in the world, actually. So,
Unbelievable. Yeah. He heard our band when we were the house band for a review that came to San Diego at the sports arena, and we backed up all the artists. And he was one of the artists. And when he heard our band, he just said, "I want you to be my band on the road." So he hired the entire band. We went up to his office in LA, and he told us about these gigs. Madison Square Garden, and we played the Apollo Theater. We played Kennedy Center in DC,
wow.
Cobo Hall in Detroit, and all of us are just young kids, and with this perfect view of the big time.
Yeah. Yeah. You were what, like 16, 17 years
Yeah,
old, right?
yeah, exactly.
You were a kid. So,
Very young.
so eventually, right, you came to reality. You came back to your town and they say, what I do, I'm making, I don't know, I assume you were getting paid a little bit. But even if you were paid, you were flying, the Barry White was paying for everything. You stayed in hotels. So your life changed
Yeah,
dramatically right away, right?
yeah. It instantly. I mean, not straight to the top. We shared rooms at the very
Yeah.
cheap hotel, Motel 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
He stayed in the palaces, but
Sure.
the band kind of was a little bit and the pay wasn't great. I look on it now, it wasn't a great offer, but we thought it was incredible, so
Yeah.
we like you say, it was an experience that you can't put a price on. I learned a lot, and when I got back home, what I did do is I did go to college and finish that because that was a wish that my parents had for me. So
I gotcha. Good for you. And then, so you went to University of California, San Diego, right? Okay,
yes,
you were 22, 23, and then, well, so between the time you went to school until you graduated from school, were you playing another band, with pickup band, with other? You were
at that,
not such a musician at the time, were you? No.
oh no, I was a musician playing in school every day, and then
Yeah.
our band Power still had a lot of gigs, and then I had 5 nights a week at the Hilton Cargo Bar, with some other bands, and there
Yeah.
was clubs called the Crossroads and many places to play. So, and very good musicians in San Diego. So
All right.
I continued that and kind of help pay through school too as well.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I was looking at your repertoire and the people you have played, man. It's unbelievable. For example, looking at your credit, it says Dolly Parton, right? One of the
Right.
first album you played. Feel free to elaborate in how that came about, and of course she is and was at the time a very famous lady, right?
Very famous and beautiful and lovely. And,
Yeah.
in LA, especially if you become, like everybody moves there with stars in their eyes, but if you become, especially on the session scene, the guy that they start to recommend, and back then there were so many studios and so many sessions,
Right.
and it didn't take long. I worked for a composer called Gene Page, who arranged music for everybody from Elton John. He did all those Barry White arrangements. And if he liked you, he would get you on all the records. So he was responsible for a lot of work. And then once the musicians, like I go on the session and there's Ray Parker Jr., Lee Ritenour, James Gatson, all the heavyweights,
Right.
David T. Walker. And then if they like you, then they recommend you for something. People take their word for it, So I found myself working every day from about 1980. And there you're in the studio one day, it's Dolly Parton, and the next day it's Whitney Houston. It's just
My God, man. Yeah.
incredibly exciting. Quincy Jones started calling me, and
Wow.
it was an amazing ride.
Yeah. Wow. And at the time, of course, no cell phones, no social
No,
media.
nothing
And
like that. Yeah.
so you couldn't, as many, I don't know if you were allowed to take pictures of the studio and to all the people you have played, because, man. Have you ever thought about doing like a biography, Nathan?
Yes. Yeah. I'm actually working on one.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I'm
it's
working.
going to be like 3,000 pages, I imagine. because you gotta tell all the good and the bad and the ugly, man.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of stories, and if you're fortunate enough to live through it all, there are some good stories mixed in there, and I feel, again, like we were saying earlier, just very blessed, and I mean, I've played for the Pope, for the
Really?
Queen. Yeah, I played
Yeah.
youth rally for John Paul II in New Orleans at the Superdome, 50,000 people, and he came riding around in the Pope mobile and blessed everybody. He looks you in the eye and
Yeah.
your blessing. And I feel like I'm the beneficiary of these blessings. He shook my
That's-
hand.
Wow. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Well, if you ever do it, I will translate in Spanish. How that?
Okay.
And I will help you with promoting your stuff in South America.
Muchas gracias.
De nada, de nada. Man, is it true you have done more than 2,000 recordings that you
Yeah.
have played on? Probably.
Yeah.
Do you count? I read somewhere you have like a diary, or you used to have like a diary from the beginning.
Yes.
You played this CD with the following guy. The gig was okay. The money wasn't bad. Good night's sleep. We catch the bus from Detroit to Chicago, and then Chicago to whatever.
Yes. Yeah, I have diary of it. I've read who's on the session. I look over there, see all my heroes,
Yeah.
and then also I just it's fun to keep track. I've been to this last trip to Japan was my 85th time. And
My God, good for you, man.
and yeah, probably more than 10,000 songs, easy to have played.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's going back to 1980.
Of course.
And now here we are, 45 years later
45 years later, right?
and working a lot.
Yeah, and still doing it. And now your family is coming along, so it's good. When you are a session player, session musician, how how you balance your input, the way that you would like to play track, whatever it's going to be, versus they want you to play.
Yeah, everything that we do in there is in service to the song,
Right.
service to the artist. So, like, when I go, my approach is I want you to give me as much input as possible. I don't want to be the one to say everything I do, this is my way or the highway. I would rather be guided, directed, So it's everything from they put no music in front of you and say, here's how the song goes. You play what you want. And for the most part, I'm responsible for coming up with creating a bass part.
I got you.
But in order to do that, I want to hear what the lyrics are saying. I want to hear when I can play, stretch out, or when I just make room for the lyrics. And so every song is different, every session's different, and every one is an opportunity to say, this is what I want to create and be in service for the song.
I got you. So you guys go back and forth, and then, a musician or producer will tell, change this part, change that part, and so on.
Yeah.
And you go back and forth. Yeah. You're at the service of whoever is paying the studio at the time to, help them.
Yeah. And now that I have so many years behind me and a fair amount of experience, what a lot of artists will do is they want to hear what I'm going to come up. I want to hear what you're going to play on this song,
I got you. Right. Yeah.
And so, in other words, they're trusting, but still, if they have a line or a demo or something, I always listen and honor. If there's some good notes in there, I'll play them for sure.
Do you ever look back in your life and say, man, this is like a dream?
Every day, every single day. It's living inside of a dream, like unbelievable. And so most of the time, my prayer is this: let it keep going. Let me be in good health so that I can be of service. And
right.
It is amazing when I look back and think of some of the experience. And now, still after all these years, to get to make music with my son and have a whole new experience.
Absolutely.
Probably in all those thousands of records, for me, this is the most important record I've done.
Yeah, good for you. Very wasteful, because that's a question for Noah. So, but I don't know. Imagine that might be difficult in the sense, Noah, that how you balance your dad, right? As a dad, always protecting you and helping you, so he cannot get mad at you if you are not playing according to what he wants you to play, or this or that. You play the piano different accord. How you manage that?
Well, he's a great, as great as a musician as he is. He's also a great listener, and he's great to work with because he lets you have the freedom, to express yourself how you like to. And a lot of times when we play, we're on the same page, and that's because we're blood or we've been playing our whole lives. But a lot of times we're able to work together, and without having to say what we want to do, we play it, and we're always on the same page, which has been great. But luckily, he's very supportive, and however I wish to approach a tune, for example, he'll support that, which I'm grateful for.
And then how I imagine that the two of you, they work in different areas, right? You begin with piano chord and stuff, and then when your dad is home or come back for a session or come back for tour, you will have recorded stuff and then show it to your dad and say, what do you think about that? Or comes the other way around, from your dad into Noah telling you, okay, this is what I was thinking that we should do, or whatever, or back and forth.
Yeah, both. Sometimes we'll do voice memo on the phone.
Yeah,
call each other or whatever. And with this album, a lot of times we just go in the studio and because something about being in that room, the magic is created when you're in there. So we were lucky to record the album at East West Studios, which is in Los Angeles,
Yeah, I know that studio. Yeah, I know.
It's,
I've never been
yeah,
there, but I know the name very well, right?
yeah. So that a lot of times us getting there and collaborating that's where the magic is formed.
Good for you, man. A question for now for your dad. When we could talk for many hours and hours, but what memory you have playing with Lionel Richie and the Pointer Sister?
Oh man, well, the Pointer Sisters are my cousins, through marriage. So
No, I didn't
always,
know that.
yeah, it's always a joy to be with them. And early on, we were making records together, um, and they're legendary. Same with Lionel Richie. Our first song and the first gold record that I ever received was "Endless Love," that he wrote for
Yeah,
Diana Ross,
of course.
and then I recorded it with him when we recorded "Lady" for Kenny Rogers. And the
Yeah.
first thing I realized is what a great human being he is. Not to mention, incredible songwriter, like a poet, And even to this day, we were just in London together, and he called, and was we were speaking with me and Eric backstage just before we went on stage, and he was just saying, "Have a great one, guys. I love you." And I mean, all these years later, he's just so supportive and one of the top artists around the world, but one of the top human beings.
That's great, man, because it's so easy to become arrogant in your world, Nathan, when you have money and you have done well for yourself, your family, and you stay in good hotel and so forth. It's very easy to become arrogant and an ass, as also word. And it's very, I think, imagine I'm not in your world, right? So it must be difficult to stay centered and love God and do the right thing in life, be nice to people. It takes the same amount of effort to be a nice person or to be a stupid person, if you will, right? So, and
Absolutely.
right. But
Yeah,
some people prefer to be stupid, right?
I like just two simple words: be nice. This is
Be
it.
nice to be absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Feel free to elaborate when you got the call about Michael Jackson.
Oh, well, the first time Quincy called me,
Yeah.
I had just it was one of those times where I have too much blessing of too much work. Kenny Loggins had called me and hired me to go out on tour. And so I leave on Monday, and on Monday evening the phone rings. Quincy, hey, can you come this week to play on Michael Jackson's on the This Was Off the Wall album? And just starting the tour with Kenny, so I couldn't do it. So the next album was bad, and thankfully he called me again to come play on this album.
Yeah.
But as you can imagine, I was heartbroken not to be able to play on the first one.
Absolutely, man. Man, all the people you have played. What about one member you have with Philip Bailey and Phil Collins? Of course, he's the lower. You were
Oh,
writing with Babyface at the time, so
yeah, no, again, that was early 80s. And,
yep.
I knew Phil Bailey from working with him together, and I'm the biggest Earth, Wind, and Fire fan on the
Gotcha.
planet anyway. But he introduced me to Phil Collins, who produced this album called Chinese Wall. So Phil, hired me, and I went over with Philip Bailey, and we recorded for 2 weeks in London. And toward the second, maybe the third day of the second week, Philip Bailey said, "We still need an undeniable single. We need something that the record label could put out. This is a first single." And so we just went over to the piano and started playing these chords. And next thing you know, I think Phil Collins was singing Choosy Lover. Philip Bailey was kind of singing a
Yeah.
little bit of the part that he sang. And then we got enough in about 20 minutes to make a demo. And
Wow.
we made this demo, no lyrics, just the music. And we said, okay, tomorrow morning when we come back in, we're going to play and record the song. And we came and played it. And when we listened to the demo, it just had a lot of energy. It was really good. And then Phil Collins started singing the song he had written these lyrics, "Easy Lover," "Get a Hold on You." And then as he was singing it, it sounded good with what we were hearing. And then I said, "You should do it as a duet." And so, okay, so we used the track that was the demo, and then they sang the duet, and the rest is kind of history. It came out great.
That's a great album, and of course, I have seen the video many times. It's amazing.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
It's
and
very
then of
exciting.
course, good for you. And then of course, Daft Punk, Get Lucky, the 2013. you recorded that, the bass line for that famous track, and you end up winning the Grammy Award for the Record of the Year and Best Pop Duo as well in 2014.
Unbelievable. And we played it on the Grammys with Stevie Wonder
My God.
and Pharrell and Nile Rodgers. Come on, you can't make this up. This is just like, it's just like a miracle is happening every day.
Right. Any of your brothers, Nathan, are into music as well, or just you? Or
All of them. My
of
youngest
them?
brother James plays bass, and
Yeah.
he directs. He's the musical director for the Sully Band in San Diego. They have a show on air that they tape every day, and they go out and play live. My brother David still plays guitar. He lives in Colorado. Monsignor Raymond East has a parish in Washington, D.C., St.
see?
Teresa of Avila, beautiful singer. And matter of fact, the whole family, Marcel is a great songwriter and producer. We wrote several songs together, including 101 Eastbound for Fourplay and several David Benoit songs. And so he lives in the Bay Area. My sisters are both musically inclined, Cecilia and Gertie. So very musical family.
Yeah. My understanding is your dad was an engineer, right? A mechanical
He was a
engineer?
design engineer for General Dynamics in Convair. So he designed the tail section of the C-5A and the swept wings of the F-14 jets, and he had all these top secret drawings he used to come home with. We used to when he went to bed, we would go take a peek and look.
Sure. Yeah, and
Curiosity.
of course, your mom was raising all of you, getting
She
into
was
trouble.
raising, and she was a true mom. She was the director of a Head Start Child Development Center as well. So
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
not only all of her kids, but he had the neighbors' kids as well.
Yeah, no wonder that you turn up okay and your son is the same as you. Good for you, man. It's good to be like that.
Thank
And of
you. We're
course,
blessed.
yeah, no problem. And of course, you've been playing for Eric Clapton now for 45 years, right? From the 80s, right?
Yes.
How you end up meeting Eric Clapton? How he get a hold of you? At the
Yeah,
time?
I think it was fate. Phil Collins introduced us at the time we were recording those sessions for Philip Bailey,
Yeah.
and then Eric introduced himself to me on the side of the stage after I came off of Live Aid in Philadelphia playing with Kenny Loggins,
Good.
and he was on the side, and he's very complimentary, and hey, you want to go hang out, so we met there, and next thing you know, we were recording in the studio with me, him, Phil Collins, and Greg Fillinganes for an album called August that Phil Collins was producing with Tom Dowd. So it was like we were bound to be together, and we've been having the greatest time ever since then.
Good for you, man. No, he's unbelievable, guy. And still going very strong.
Still going.
He's like
Just-
79, 80,
Just
right
turned
now.
80.
Yeah. It's unbelievable, man. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. I noticed that you were invited to play at the Obama inaugural celebration, Lincoln Memorial DC in 2009, right?
Yes.
Man, that was probably one of the biggest honors to play,
It was a high honor, and
Yeah.
not only, I was there. Everybody: Stevie Wonder, Bono, Bruce Springsteen, James Taylor, Garth Brooks, Beyonce. I mean, it was like the entire music industry on those steps, and everybody was almost like a child, just in awe of this great event taking place in front of about 2 million people. And very, very, very exciting time.
That's good for you. By the way, what's happened with Fourplay? Now you're busy doing a lot of stuff, but is the band coming back, or the possibility of keep on touring down the road, or because
Absolutely.
right? That's a great band, man. I have seen you before. We met several times here, and Bob James I have seen him several times.
Yes. And we love playing there,
Yeah.
We were all heartbroken to lose our guitarist Chuck Loeb
Yeah.
who was actually our third guitarist in the band after Lee Ritenour and Larry Carlton. Just the best guitarist and the best friend you could ever wish for. So since he passed away, we haven't been very aggressive about picking back up, moving down the road. Everybody's been doing their individual projects, albums, and tours. But we have not discounted the fact that we will do something together again.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's bring Pam Metheny, or and now your son can play the piano. We bring
Let's go. I
I'm
know.
Philip or Amber.
No,
or
this
whatever.
this is a lovely dream idea. I love it.
Yeah. You have never played with Pam Metheny, right? Yeah, I'm going to be seeing him in a couple months, actually.
Pat he's written the soundtrack to my life. I love him dearly, and other than jamming with him at his house in New York a few times, we've never done anything official. But we both have said at some point we will.
Yeah, when I'm going to be seeing Pam Metheny in September, he's going to be doing some tour in South America, and so I'm seeing him in Chile September 4th, 5th, and 6th. So very likely I won't interview, but I'm going to be really meeting and helping him out with the. I'm friend with the promoter, so I will convey the message that Nathan said he's waiting for the call.
Please, he's a dear friend. I love him.
He's very good, of course,
and a supreme musicianship too, as well.
But he's a very good guy and a very humble guy too.
Yeah.
You toured with George Harrison.
Yes, we did his last tour
in 1991. Man, what memory do you have of that?
Oh, just of playing all those Beatles songs with him and Eric, and While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and Taxman, and all the songs that I kind of grew up listening to as well. It was another one of those moments where you're thinking, really, I'm standing on stage with a Beatle making music. Is incredible. And he was a dear friend.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Donna Summer, it's another name from the band.
Yes. Yeah, Donna Summer, bless her soul. She was a lovely lady, and we were in the studio, and one of the first songs we recorded together is "She Works Hard for the Money," you know, and that album. But we did a lot of live events together, and she was another really, really sweet human being and phenomenal singer.
Good for you, man. Yeah, good for you. Chaka Khan, of course, another.
Of course, Shaka. Yeah, my girl.
Because some people can go back in their life and say they wish they have played with one or two or three people that you can play. You can play with everybody. You're greedy, my friend, man.
No, sorry. I think if you're around long enough, you get to be blessed if everything goes right,
Oh, of course. All right, let's talk a little bit about the album now. And so feel free to tell me about how the project came along and what was the motivation of creating this. And then, and I noticed that the old Snow Jazz, the album of, it's an excellent band. It's not strictly a duo, but I think Eric Clapton playing a couple of the tracks, right? Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. But yeah, this album really, we've been playing right here in our living room.
Yeah.
For my whole life, just jamming, and so we finally said, "Hey, let's just pick the tunes we love to play, and let's make an album." And so the stars aligned, and we had some studio time, and that's what happened.
Yeah, and feel free to. So you nowadays, right? A lot of people, whether you have the funds to do it or not, right? A lot of people they do everything at home, right? With a $1,000 or $2,000 computer, you can kind of, I suppose, do the basic or 70% of the work, and then you take it from the studio, right? So that was in your case, that was the case. You start recording stuff at home, little by little, start putting track number 2, track number 3, and eventually you went to East West Studios, right?
Yeah, we had some demos that we did here, and sometimes we even were just recorded on the voice memos, but we were very fortunate to get some studio time, and so we just said, okay, everything we could do there, we do there, because there's something about the live performance of being in the room with all the guys, and making a performance rather than doing everything separately at home. and we were fortunate to do that. And I think it made a big difference in how the album sounded.
I got you. I got you. And at the same time, you have your own band, the people that you play with when your dad is touring, and he's touring all over the world. So
Yeah, well, recently we've been having a kind of a trio band. Our drummer that's on the album, Donald Barrett, and he's amazing. He's playing on the road with Lady Gaga, but he's came in, and when we did the album, I have never met him previously, and they've been on a few gigs, but he just walked in the studio, and the first song we played, it was just like we've been playing forever, and so he really had a big impact on our album. So we been performing as a trio a lot, kind of locally, and that's been a dream.
right. Well, yeah, go ahead.
And so I've been part of the Cream of Clapton band, which Eric Clapton's nephew Will Johns.
Oh yeah, wow.
Leader, and so we've been celebrating a lot of Eric's older music and been going around the world doing that. And Steve Ferroni, Eric's drummer, has joined us a few times. He's joined us, sat in. Greg Gaines has joined us. So it's been a big kind of reunion, and that's been a lot of fun to play that music.
Any possibility of playing here with that band before we ask you about the two of you to playing here in the kind of DC area or?
Yeah, we've played there. We played in Maryland let's see, 2 years ago. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we come back.
There's so many venues, like your dad knows, right? There are so many great venues here in the DC, and I mean hundreds. Because we are the border of. I live in Virginia, but Washington is half an hour from here, and Maryland's 20 minutes. So within the three states, there are so many people in DC. When I call DC area, they really love music. Really, man. Every band, the reason I'm able to see close to 60 or 70 gigs a year, because every band comes this way. And I mean literally every band comes this way. There are so many venues, the income per capita of the people here is higher. So every band, they do very well here. So
wow, you're in a great spot.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. Yeah. So the two of you are going to be playing a couple of gigs in next month, right?
Yes, actually, this month, in celebration of Father's Day, we're going to play at Herb Alpert's Vibrato on the 18th of June.
All right, wow.
That is really excited, and we're going to play at a place called Spaghettini in Seal Beach with Eric Marienthal on the 16th of June. And then next month in July, we start in Laguna Beach at the Festival of Arts on the 10th. Yeah. And then we're going to work our way up to San Francisco and end up at UC San Diego on the 18th at the Epstein Amphitheater. And we'll put all the dates on nathaneast.com website where people can come see. And I was going to say, too, one of the gigs that Noah played a few years ago when I had a band, we played in Campeche. And Noah was our interpreter because he studied Espanol.
Oh, really?
Really. So we really enjoyed, and they gave us a plaque, from the government saying that we played in Campeche, and it was really great. And this was our interpreter there.
Right, good for you, man. Good for you. So you're doing that June, and then I think a June and part of July, and then you go back to Eric Clapton in September. What are you doing in August? Expanding the tour here to this area with the two of you?
We're working on it right now. The dates are coming in right now, and so we're working on it. You'll be the first call that I give you. We're also working on. We're going to Asia in November with this band, with the duo, and we have China Jazz Festival, Thailand Jazz Festival, Bangkok, Seoul, Korea, Tokyo. Taipei, we have a few gigs lined up in November, so we're looking forward to that as well.
Good for you. And it's just going to be to you, or you're bringing, another musician for a night here, a night there?
Yeah, it'll be primarily Noah and I, and then we're taking Donald Barrett with us to play drums, and Jack Lee from Seoul is going to play guitar. So he played on the new album on a song called Reminisce. That he did a wonderful job. He and Pat Metheny are very close as well. So
really,
when Pat goes to Korea, they get together and he helps him out a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. And is a possibility of for people that cannot attend the show to record that or like create like a DVD or a Blu-ray or at least
Yes,
some size?
we were just talking today about making some live performances
Yeah,
because some of the people that have guested on the record, we would like to, when we play live, invite them to the show, and if we record it,
right.
then it's going to make good material for a live record.
Absolutely, man. Hopefully we'll see you here in DC as well, playing one day. Are you
But
kidding?
I love playing in DC, and there's so, like you said, there's so many great places. I mean,
Right.
the Birchmere is always a lot of fun.
Of
Uh,
course.
yeah, and but whether on campus or there's so many places, and
Yeah,
uh, Blues Alley. I mean,
of course. You know every place.
no, I know it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Of
Well,
course,
I tell you, my wife is I'm from Chile. My wife from Colombia, so she's one of the best cook in the world. So if you ever around here, man, whether you are in DC, in Maryland, either you, Nathan, or Noah, come to the high, have dinner. We'll have the best meal of your life, man. I'm telling you right
I
now.
promise you, we're gonna take you up on this. Please
Yeah.
please give our love to your wife.
No problem, man. It was very nice talking to you guys. Good luck to you, Nathan, Noah. You know, you will do very well, man. Keep on working hard. Keep on doing what you do and learn a lot from your dad and from the other people. And eventually, you will go on your own, right? And of course, it has a little pressure because you are the son of or the mother of or whatever. But eventually, you will. You know, you're very good at what you do, and you've been around the best of the best, man. So you know, you will need to create a name for yourself, and you will do very well, man.
Muchas gracias.
You
And
know, man.
we want to say thank you for your support to all music because nowadays, there's not the big record labels and it's a completely
Yeah.
different industry. So, with the
Yeah.
help of people like yourself,
Thank you very much.
it helps all of us get our message out there to the world.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. It was very nice talking to you guys, and we'll stay in touch. I will help you with the other stuff that we mentioned before the
Okay.
recording. And happy to help. And then I will see you in Philadelphia, and then in Boston. So and for the Eric
Okay.
Clapton gig. So
Oh, fantastic.
it was very nice talking to you guys. Good luck to you, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate
See you
it.
soon.
Dios te bendiga.
Muchas gracias.